folks, and welcome back to lockdown spin number 3. Probably my last lockdown spin before Christmas. Actually, hopefully my last lockdown spin ever, because I'm rather hoping that the lockdown will be lifted soon after Christmas. Today I'm out on the, if you hadn't already guessed, the FJR 1300. I've just realised, and I must apologise for the slightly dirty windscreen. I keep my bikes underneath the covers when they're in the garage, but they seem to gather so much condensation. I often wonder if there's a better way of storing the bikes. You can see all the, well, maybe as you can't see on the GoPro, all the condensation marks on the windscreen. I dread to think what it's doing to the bodywork. I must inspect that when I get back off this spin. But like always, I woke up not so long ago, saw that the sun was shining, and I thought, right, that's it, I'm out on two wheels. And what better way but to be out riding the FJR 1300. I don't know if you've looked at my previous 2 lockdown spins. Actually, on that note, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and take a look at them. But the first one, I was out on my Royal Enfield Continental GT. The one I recorded last week, which has only just went live, I was out on my BMW R1200 GS, the touring edition, and I just wanted to pay homage to my FJR 1300. This is the bike which got me back into biking this year, only back in June, and indeed it's hard to think that I only started this channel back in June as well. And on that note, huge thanks to each and every one of you who have subscribed and liked, and indeed there's a core few of you who followed me right from the start. And as of this morning when I checked, which becomes like a morning ritual for me now, I know people say not to do that when you're running a YouTube channel, but as of this morning I had 721 subscribers. My goal was to get to 700 subscribers before Christmas, and I've surpassed that. Well, you've made me surpass that, and I'm hugely grateful, folks. Anyway, enough of the smushy stuff, and I'll tell you where I'm off to today. This is again, we're under restrictions, so this is only a little spin out with no particular place to go and nowhere in mind, because I'm only allowed to stay within the same county as where I live. I particularly love these roads, which I refer to as twisties. I'm sure we all do. Especially in the summer, and there's a few videos I have on my FJR now tearing up these corners when the weather's a lot nicer and the roads are bone dry. It's been a while since I've been on the FJR, about a month or so anyway. I'll take it handy here. These corners are very slippy, and again, there's a lot of agricultural machinery around this part of the world, which often leave mud and God knows whatever else sprayed on the corners around here, so forgive me, I won't be tearing the bike up today. That sun's very low and very bright. I don't care, I'm just happy to be out. What was I talking about? Yeah, it's been a while since I've been out on the FJR, and you know, when another bike comes along like my BMW R1200, I think all of us maybe have a little bit of this in us that, oh yeah, the new bike's far better, and it has this and it has that because it's newer, and it has this difference and that difference, and it's got all the mod cons. But you know, every bike is so individual, every rider is so individual, and I don't think there's such a thing as an all-round bike. I just feel a bit safer because of the riding modes on the R1200, but you know, and I'm being totally honest here, I'd forgotten how amazing it is to be out on this bike. I know I complain, well, it's my only complaint about this bike. Indeed, I did a 6-month review of this bike, which I split into categories, and my only complaint about the bike is that it's too heavy. But, you know, it's only too heavy for me. Other people might find it's perfect. I just find it's a little bit top heavy when I'm doing slow speeds, you know, in traffic. It doesn't affect me, obviously, when I'm out on the open road like this. But I'd forgotten just how beautiful it is to sit on this machine. It really is as I've just said recently there's no such thing as an all-round machine, but this is as close to what I would describe as a point and press machine. The riding position is beautiful. The amount of power, I've always said it's a demon in disguise. It's a sports bike undercover. It has serious amounts of power. I had a Fireblade many years ago. This, I don't know about the spec sheet looking at this, comparing it to a Fireblade, but this has all the hallmarks of the Fireblade's power. It's just absolutely stunning, and then it's disguised as a beautiful touring bike. I've said it before as well, this is the epitome of a motorcycle to me. What a bike should look like, what a bike should feel like. Even in school, when I was a child, drawing pictures of motorcycles, this is what I drew. They always say that the power of now and mindfulness, careful what you wish for, and little did I know back as young as 7 or 8 years old when I was drawing pictures of motorcycles. And I know because my mother, God rest her soul, kept a school folder with all of my school reports and pictures that I'd drawn in, and when she passed away the folder was passed on to me, and I was discovering pictures of motorcycles, and basically my whole world at 7 or 8 years old was just fascination with motorcycles. And I remember my father used to take me to a library on a Saturday morning to look at motorcycle books. No such thing as the internet or Google then, and it was just the highlight of my week, being able to go and look at pictures of motorcycles. And where I'm from, in Newcastle upon Tyne, there was a famous hill. I don't know if it's there now, it's 17 years since I've been there. A famous hill called Westgate Hill in Newcastle upon Tyne, and there was loads of motorcycle shops, and I used to get the bus when I was old enough, or when I was 13 or 14. The world was a safer place back then. I used to get the bus with a mate of mine into town on a Saturday. Thank you for that. And we just used to go looking around the motorcycle shops, and I still love that smell of the motorcycle shops. You know, of the petrol and the leaking oil from all of the motorcycles in the showroom, and that smell will always stay with me. And indeed, some mornings, especially in the summer, when I walk into my garage and there's a smell of petrol and, you know, just it's that motorbike smell. I know you all know what I'm talking about. I just love that smell. I love to be caught up with that. So motorcycles are very nostalgic to me. And indeed, I've explained that the reason I bought the Royal Enfield, the Continental GT, which is the Chrome edition, the reason that's sitting in my garage is because my father owned a motorbike briefly. It was a BSA Gold Star, and that was all chrome, and I couldn't wait when I was a young child to get downstairs and sit in my parents' garage on the BSA Gold Star, you know, pretending I was riding it. I'm sure we all have those memories as well. Anyway, gosh, I'm going back a few years then. But that's what motorcycles, yet again, do to me. I've only come out for a spin just to get the oil flowing through the engine again on the FJR 1300 here. And already I'm getting sentimental and nostalgic, and maybe it's the time of year as well. I don't know about you, but always at Christmas time I start thinking, right, what did I do this year? What did I achieve? Where did I go? What did I see? The answer to the last couple of queries is very little. I saw very little, and I didn't go very far because of the pandemic, the lockdown. But the good thing is that we're here today, and out on two wheels, and I'm just looking forward to next year. I have so many places. That's one of the things I did do certainly recently in the dark nights and in lockdown. I've made a list of places I want to go and places I want to see next year, and I just can't wait to get going with that. And I'm already planning journeys to see friends over in France, I've a couple of new series. Well, I call them series. They're actually trilogies because I very rarely get 3 episodes out of an idea. So just like my Spin on Sunday, which that was the first series I started back in June. The Spin on Sunday, that was the trilogy, and then this is the final lockdown spin. So again, another trilogy. So next year I have a few ideas. I'm not actually going to divulge what they are. I'm just going to bring them to you and see what you think. But there'll be a lot more stories to be told, a lot more fancy camera work, a lot more dronage, and basically just a lot more escapism. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've also got a couple of ideas. Now I hope the wife's not watching this. I've got a couple of ideas about what the next bike is going to be. I'm actually on the hunt. I'll tell you one of the bikes I'd love, and I'm on the hunt and I'm scouring the internet for this. Now I'm 50 years old now. When I was 21 or 22, well actually my first bike was a Suzuki RGV 250. Now I gather they have just gone beyond reach. Their price has skyrocketed with them. So I'm not going to be looking for one of them, but I have a photograph of me with a CBR 600, which was a 1994 model, the FP, and it was just an incredible colour scheme. And I saw one for sale recently, and but unfortunately it was the same time I was purchasing the Royal Enfield, and I just couldn't make the funds stretch to pick up one of these as well. It was only like €2,000, and in hindsight I should have borrowed the money to go for it, because I would love to get another CBR 600. Well, that exact model with that paint scheme, it got everything going inside me. It got the blood flowing inside me, that bike. And indeed, it didn't get the blood flowing for very long, unfortunately, because that's the bike I came off. That's the bike I had an accident on and crashed into the back of another car. I'll not go into the whole story because I have told this on another vlog, but it was only on the way home from the shop I just bought it from. Actually, a shop on Westgate Hill, which I mentioned briefly there before. I think it was Ken's Motorcycles on Westgate Hill, and that's the hill with all the motorcycle shops. And it was a Saturday morning, picked it up, and when I was driving to the post office to get the tax. So the bike lasted no longer than a day, and I was so upset about that, just because I love the look of the bike so much. This car is turning left in here. Oh, I was just about to overtake there, thank God I didn't. Don't fancy that as I'm talking about an accident previously on a bike. Imagine if I'd just ploughed into the side of that one coming. Don't fancy that today. So yeah, I'm having to stay within the county, which is alright, because it's a large county and it's a very, as you can see, picturesque and scenic county. So I'm happy out. I'm only delighted that I'm not stuck in Dublin when I own motorcycles like this FJR. I'd find that very frustrating if I had to stay within County Dublin and couldn't get outside into the country. As much as I love Dublin, I prefer being in the country. I'm a country boy at heart. I never was a townie through and through. I am a townie. No, I'm not, actually. I was a townie. I was correct in saying that past tense. My country bumpkin wife converted me. We moved to Ireland, and I'd never the biggest shock I found when I moved to the country in Ireland was the dark. I'd never seen darkness like it, and even now when I'm outside looking for the dogs before we go to bed, letting the dogs in or something like that, or feeding the cats or whatever, I don't think I'll ever get used to darkness the way it is over here in the countryside in Ireland. It is pitch dark. In fact, that's one of the things on my list for next year. I'd love to get, you've probably already guessed, I'm mad into the old photography and the camera work. Well, that's what I do for a living anyway. But I'd love to get into the astrophotography next year, because I haven't got enough hobbies already. You wouldn't believe I've got 4 kids as well. Jeepers. And they're all grown up very fast. My eldest lad, he wants to get into motorbikes, and I can't very well, talk him out of it, because you know, I'm riding around with this huge passion which I only reignited again this year, so I can't say no, you're not allowed. So I'm looking at maybe it's a 250 or something, an older bike for him next year. He's 18, so he's been asking to have a go on the Royal Enfield. You can probably tell by my little laugh there that that's not going to happen. Followed by a big laugh. Okay, let's just enjoy the scenery for a little bit whilst I think about what else to bring you. I've never understood this. You see these people walking babies on the road like that. Please wear a high vis, especially when the sun is in the eyes of the drivers and the riders like this. Oh God, I sound like the road police. I vowed I'd never turn into one of them. Apologies. Some big houses around here. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I think I've taken this whole road in 5th gear. I've always said that about this bike, even though it doesn't have a 6th gear. The 5th gear is like your automatic gear on an FJR because there's so much torque. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I checked the state of the tyres before, not the air pressures, just the treads, and I think I'll be in line for a new set of tyres before the next riding season starts early next year. Indeed, one of the tours, okay, I'll let you into one secret. I'm going to do the Wild Atlantic Way next year in Ireland, which basically spans the top to the bottom of Ireland all down the west coast. With some just I've done it in the car. I've been over there many times in the car, but I want to do it on the bike. In fact, I want to do it on this. I always said I would do it on the FJR, and I'll be treating myself to a new set of tyres before that little trip happens. God, these roads are very slippy actually. Again, just all the crap on the road from the agricultural stuff. Just past a Christmas tree there made out of old tractor tyres and painted green. That's a good idea. This windscreen, I forgot how effective it is keeping the airflow off you. It's very good. I remember when I'm on a motorway, which I won't be doing in this trip, when I'm on a motorway, there's a vacuum, but which sort of pulls, it's the other sensation, pulls you towards the windscreen on this. But when I've mentioned that in a few previous videos as well, some of you have been very kind, and I appreciate that massively, in getting in touch and letting me know what you've done to solve that vacuum with links to different windscreens and everything. So again, that's on the list for next year. One exciting thing, and I've just realised, which is actually the best testament to the product I'm going to tell you about now, is I bought a gel seat for this motorbike. Actually, do you know what? I've just realised, I said to you earlier that my only complaint about this bike was the weight. It's not. There is 2 complaints about this bike, which I've also harped on about in previous videos, and it's the comfort of the seat. I find the seat very hard, just for my backside. Again, all very individual. I know many of you might not find the seat hard, but that's one thing I'm pleased that the lockdown happened in many ways, because I didn't want to go too far afield on this bike because of the seat. I was looking at third-party seats, the names which escape me now, but you probably know the ones I'm talking about. I think French made as well, and they all look fantastic. I've read loads of reviews, watched loads of YouTube videos about them, and yeah, all fantastic, all great stuff. But I didn't want to spend €500 or whatever it is with shipping and everything else. I really didn't want to spend €500 on a seat just to make my backside more comfortable, and you know, excuse me a second, I'm just wondering if it's down there. It should be. Yes, it is. I'm going to do a U-turn here. Again, I can't multitask. I've got to stop talking whilst I'm thinking. Many people would say that I should think before I speak. It's the other way around as well sometimes. Taking it handy because it is like I say, top heavy when you go slow speeds. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, the seat. So I didn't want to spend that much money on a seat in case it turned out to be not quite as advertised. So I took a chance and I bought a gel seat, which I've got on at the moment. And I have to say, it's like I haven't even noticed my backside getting numb, or the inside of my thighs, you know, where you sort of grip the seat. That's normally the first thing which starts paining me with this seat, and none of that. The gel seat is absolutely brilliant. I've only been on the bike 20-25 minutes or so, but early impressions are absolutely superb. And I'd totally forgotten about it. I mean, I saw it was there when I started the bike up this morning and thought, oh yeah, great, that'll be a good chance to test this out, because I haven't done before now. So this is an actual live reaction, folks. I'll put the details in the or the link rather in the details below to the gel seat. But for 50 or 60 quid, I'll tell you what, okay, it might not be a bespoke beautiful French handmade leather seat, but it's a tenth of the price. So if you're just experiencing a bit of uncomfort when you're going further afield on the FJR, you might want to check this out. It's absolutely brilliant. It's very, very soft. I really can notice the difference. Okay, I'm thrilled with that. That's brilliant. Now, I'm aware that the sun is shining straight through that dirty windscreen. Excuse me. Everybody in my family has a cough and a cold, so that's another reason I like to get out on two wheels and blow the cobwebs out, blow the fresh air through my lungs. But I'm just wondering as well, I've often wondered since I got back into the bikes in June, you know, if any of you want me to do a bike washing video and show you my setup for washing the bikes, please let me know, because I know everybody has their own ways of washing the bikes. I certainly do. I'm a bit OCD when it comes to that, and indeed my bikes are all ACF 50'd to within an inch of their life at the moment, just because of all the crap which comes up off the roads at this time of year. And I don't really have the time to wash the bikes every time I've been out. If I get caught up in rain or have driven through some big deep puddles and everything, then sure, as soon as I get home, I get the old hose pipe out and spray off all the dirt really. But I think they say once you've ACF 50'd your bike, you get 3 washes before it needs to be done again. That's what I sort of, well, that's the rule I stick to. But yeah, if you want to know how I wash my bike and the different products I use, please let me know in the comments below. It won't be happening this year, but it'll happen very soon after Christmas. Wow, that sun is very low and bright. We're driving through the county of Baileyborough here, and it's actually as far as I believe, it's the 2nd highest county in Ireland. Which is why, and again, I'm not sure what you can see on the old GoPro shots here. In fact, you can see them just sticking over the top of the horizon there, but there's a lot of wind farms up here, for good reason. Because it's windy a lot of the time being this high up. That's why, again, another reason I got into the bikes was because of my other hobby, which again I've previously mentioned, which is paramotoring. And living here, the conditions have to be absolutely spot on to go paramotoring. For those of you who don't know what one of them is, it's an engine on my back and a wing above my head, like a fabric wing. In fact, I was once described, and I'll never forget this is a brilliant description of myself, as a funny wee fella with a weird accent hanging underneath a handkerchief with a hairdryer up his arse for an engine. Summed me up beautifully, I thought. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I got back into the motorcycling, because as much as I love the air in my face when I'm flying around on the paramotor, I could really only do it a handful of times every year, certainly less than 10 anyway. because of the weather conditions, and then sod's law, you know, I'd be at work when the weather would be becoming good, and then, as I've mentioned as well, I've got a youngish family, so I couldn't just drop everything just because the weather was good to go flying. And then the other thing with paramotoring is, of course, the prep time, you know, getting everything ready before you take off. You know, the weather could have changed, and then you'd spend the morning going to a flying field or something like that, and by the time you got everything ready and done all your pre-flight checks, the weather could have changed. It'd be sort of a waste of a morning or a waste of an afternoon. So as much as that addiction is still there for the flying, I've had to put it aside, probably until I retire and have a lot more time on my hands. But motorcycling gives me absolutely the same buzz. I don't know if it's the speed, the adrenaline, the fact that when you get home, and there's certainly definitely a bit of this with the flying, when you get home, the fact that you've actually gotten home and you're alive. So there's definitely a similarity there with the motorcycling. And but it's just that whole air in your face. So excuse me again, I'll have to stop talking whilst I overtake. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, that's okay. I can go home now. I've just had me pleasurable moment. I might have had a little bit of an accident. That was, oh jeepers, yeah. That's all I need. I'm good now. Yeah. I absolutely love the speed. It's like sitting on a turbine rocket. And I don't know if you could hear the engine. I tried to stop talking as I was accelerating there to see if you could hear the engine. I must get around to working out a way of how to record the engine sound properly. I've tried many times, but it just distorts the microphone on the GoPros, you know. I know a few lads at work who work in the sound department, and I must get around to asking them. So again, that'll be something else I'll put on the list next year, because actually one of the biggest reasons and one of the, well, the biggest selling points actually of a motorbike, and indeed one of the most individual points of every motorcycle, is the sound of it. And I'll be honest with you, when I bought the Royal Enfield, the Continental GT, when I started that up and drove the first 50 miles in it, oh, I was really disappointed. So I was looking at the third-party add-on exhausts and everything, yeah. Again, it's just more money, more money, more money. Where do you stop? But then, after doing a couple of 100 miles on that bike, the engine note, it totally changed. Really loosened up, really opened up. It's now a beautiful growl on it. But when I bought this bike, the FJR, albeit I think it's 2010, and we're now in 2020, so albeit it was well broken in when I bought it, only back in June, but the engine note actually was one of the key selling points. I took it out for a quick spin, and when I listened to the note, I just thought, okay, I could ride around for the rest of my life blindfold, just listening to the sound. It's just incredible, the sound of this. I wonder if there's an app, if anybody knows of an app where you can just listen to motorcycle engine noises, or type in which motorbike engine noise you want to listen to, and just play it back, or use it as an alarm call on your phone when you wake up in the morning or something like that. If anybody knows of anything like that, let me know, please, will you? Because sometimes, as I have just done there, opening the engine up and you listen to that note, sometimes that's all I need. So I'm very easily satisfied sometimes. And if you see me on the Dragon's Den next year selling my pitch for funding to develop an app, you heard it here first, folks. Apologies for not bringing you any droneage in this video. I didn't really know that I was going to be heading out today, so the drone batteries aren't charged or anything like that. but I'm sure you've heard enough of me waffling on as well at this stage. So on that note, I'd just like to thank you massively. Again, hold on, I've got to stop talking whilst I'm going around a roundabout. Oh, I actually did talk there. Wow, I'm getting better. So yeah, I'd like to thank you massively, folks, for joining me again, rabbiting on about absolutely nothing, just enjoying the time out on two wheels on this beautiful FJR 1300. And I wish you all a very happy and a very safe Merry Christmas. If you're out on two wheels, take care. If you're out in four wheels, take care. And I'll probably be signing off in terms of vlogs for the rest of the year now. But thanks so much for all of your support this year, and it's just been incredible having you along the way. It really has been like having friends riding pillion with me. I've loved your comments, and again, I appreciate your support massively. So ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, and we'll talk very soon in the new year, folks. I'm Dave Perry for Wheelie Good TV, over and out.